Hey, what's going on, everyone, and welcome to Free Thought. All right, guys, before we start, there was a comment that was made in the previous video that I felt like needed a little bit of clarification. So I try to do that through the comment section, but after I did, my wife actually saw it and suggested that I should probably make a video on it, or at least a piece of a video on it. And another person suggested the same thing in the comments. So I wanted to go ahead and clarify a little bit what we were discussing in the comment section now. So the comment was based on some concerns about Ledger. The comment was saying that Ledger is not safe because they were hacked. So that is true, they were hacked, but I wanted to clarify exactly what happened because there's more to the story than that. And it was eluded that because they were hacked, people lost their crypto, and it was a direct effect because of that, which it is and it's not, and I'll explain why. So what happened was Ledger, the company itself, was breached by some hackers. They were able to steal customers' information, be in their shipping addresses, their emails, and in some instances their credit card information if they stored it in the website. No crypto information was stolen because Ledger doesn't store any crypto information for your wallets. It's just literally customers' information, purchasing history, okay? But what ensued after that is what took the headlines. They commenced to do a phishing attack with all the emails that they were able to extort. A phishing attack just means that they started sending mass emails to all the email addresses that they were able to steal, pretending to be the company Ledger. And in that email, they were asking the owners of ledgers, they obviously knew that you own a ledger because your name was in the database, that you were a customer. So they were asking for you to verify your ledger, your account, because of a breach. And in that email, there was a malicious link linking you to a malicious website, asking you to put in your personal PIN that you set up for your Ledger wallet. Also asking for your backup words that we spoke about in the last video that you're supposed to write down and keep safe and not share with anybody to verify your wallet. Well, unfortunately, there was quite a few people who fell for that scam and started to input all their information. Well, once they gave up their personal PIN for their wallet and their backup phrases, the hackers were able to offload all the crypto they had in their ledgers. So that's exactly what happened. So it wasn't because they hacked Ledger, the company, that they were able to just take your crypto from that. No, that was just the first step. So I say that to say this, that can happen to any manufacturer of any product. That happens to our banks. That happens to PayPal a lot. Actually, a lot. So it could happen to any of the other hardware wallets. None of those manufacturers hold your personal information because you're just buying a product. You're just buying a wallet. So, which leads to being informed on how to secure your money, your crypto. That's essentially what you're storing there. So you need to treat it just like you treat your personal wallet or your personal bank card. It's up to you to keep that safe. So when it comes to your hardware wallet, you should never, and I can't stress this enough, you should never share your personal PIN that you set up once you set up your hardware wallet, whichever wallet you decide to go with. All right, I made that point in the comments as well. I am not just a proponent for Ledger, just use Ledger to the best. It's never what I said. I said that's what I use, that's what I feel comfortable with, and that's what I recommend to people because I like it. But I always say, look, there's several other hardware wallets that you can go with if you like those features better. They all do the same thing. They're just a little bit different in their own right, but at the same time, they all deserve the same type of security awareness that you need to bring with owning one of these. So never share your personal PIN that you set up with any of your hardware wallets. Never share those backup words that we discussed with anybody. Anybody that you do not want to have access to your crypto. Because once you do, you're literally giving them the keys to your account. So I just wanted to address that, and we can move on to the rest of the video. That's out of the way. I wanted to speak on how I got here as far as cryptocurrencies, spiritually. Okay, so I wanted to give you a little bit of backstory to when I was in my early 20s and late teens. There was a lady that I met through my girlfriend at the time, which is my current wife now, who was a said prophet. When she told me that, I was reluctant, to say the least. Said, okay, sure. And it's not because I don't believe in prophets, or I don't believe in the gifts of the spirit, because I do completely, all the gifts. But I am skeptical to when somebody tells me they're a prophet, or a healer, just because you have to verify it, correct? So I take it at face value, but at the end of the day, I have to verify it myself and through the feelings that I get by the Holy Spirit. So at the time, reluctantly, I said, okay, sure, I'll go meet her. She's I didn't know it was a lady, but she's a pastor. So one day we went, and I was able to meet her. In our short interaction, one of the first things that she said was, I know you don't believe I'm a prophet. I understand. Which kind of took me by surprise, because I told that to my girlfriend, and we were together when we met her, so I know my girlfriend didn't tell her that. She just kind of knew. And there was a few other things that she said that, all right, put up a flag for me, to say the least. So started making me think, okay, maybe she does exhibit some of the gifts of the Spirit. And we ended our conversation with her saying, it's okay, you're not ready, and you'll come back. You're going to come back looking for answers, and you're going to come see me again. So we left, and that was pretty much our interaction for years. That was in high school, so shortly after that, I left for the military. I joined the military. I was gone for a few years. Fast forward several years later, I came back. Met up with my girlfriend that we had been dating, and kind of, started back up. And at some point, and I couldn't tell you exactly what was going on in my life at that time, but at some point I asked her about her. And I asked my girlfriend, is she still around? Does she still have her church? And is it possible that I can go see her? Because I was having some thoughts that I wanted to have somebody to ask a question to. And she said, sure, yeah, she's definitely around. I haven't seen her either in a while, but we could definitely go see her if you like. So we did. And at that time, I had completely forgot that she said that I was going to come see her, seeking her again. I totally forgot. That wasn't even in my mind. So when we arrived, we said our greetings, and she, with a big old smile, was saying, hey, how you doing? And I said, do you remember me? She said, of course I do. And one of the first things she said was, I told you you'll be back. I told you you'll come back. It was at that point that I was a little bit more open to see exactly what she had to say, and I was intrigued. All right, I was asking for confirmation, and I would have to see this through speaking with her, conversing with her. So in that particular meeting, and this is just one of many that I had throughout those few years that I was living in that city, and being able to visit her. And she was an elderly lady, maybe in her 70s and early 80s at the time. Sweet lady. So I showed up. Well, in that particular meeting, we were discussing several things. I was able to ask the questions that I had. And in that particular meeting, she didn't divulge a lot of information, but she told me that I was getting to the point that she can share some things with me, and then she would share things about me, uh, in my current situation, what she saw for me, and things not just about me, but in general of the world and other people. So, a couple of meetings in, and these are spaced out through probably weeks. Um, we I got to know her a little bit better, and we got to openly discuss a lot of things. And in one particular meeting, when I came in, she was holding my hands, and we were just talking and just having a good time, being joyful. And my girlfriend was there every time. She was looking all around me, like if you ever notice somebody who's speaking to you, but something else catches their attention, and you know that they're looking to the side of you everywhere else. And I had to turn my head and look around. I said, "What is she looking at?" Because she's speaking to me as she's holding my hands. And she said that she can see so much wealth around me, just money just flying everywhere. But it was, if I could describe her eyes, it's like she can literally see this. It meant really nothing to me. I said, that sounds great. I believe it, but it's just one of those things that's like, okay. But what she said afterwards is what one of the very first things that started sticking with me until present day. She started speaking about the state of the country as how it's going to be, and the fact that it was going to be very chaotic. And when it came to finances, money was not going to be worth much, if anything at all. And she made it a point, a very strong point, to always speak about that to me and my girlfriend and any other person that might happen to be there asking for guidance from her. Um, she would say, and I shared with Sharon on her channel months ago. I believe I left it in a comment. Um, she would say that money would be in the streets. Now, I don't know if that's a literal or just a way of describing things, but money would be so worthless that it'd just be in the streets and people could carry it in wheelbarrows because it was just worthless. It was just everywhere and it was worthless. And she said that everybody should try their best to get out of debt. Her advice to me all the time was to get out of debt. Do not get in debt. Do not get in debt. You do not want to be in debt in this time. And that I should prepare. We all should prepare. And I would ask her, well, how? How can I prepare? Besides storing food. And this, again, was 20 something odd years ago. And she said, no, well, yes, but she turned to me and started speaking about coins. And her words were coins. And I said, what do you mean coins? She said, you need to start buying coins, any kind of coins. Because I asked her, well, what kind of coins? And what kind of coins do you mean? Like gold coins, silver coins? Because in my mind, I was thinking gold coins as we know it, right? Buying gold, buying silver, buying precious metals. That was the first thing that came into my mind, was maybe that's what she means, like bullion coins. And she said, it doesn't matter. Any kind of coin. Pennies, dimes, just buy coins. Which she kept repeating that. And to me, logically thinking, doesn't make sense. Like, what do you mean pennies? Like, how are pennies going to be worth a lot of money? And she would say, that's what is going to be worth a lot in those days. You need to just start buying coins. Coins are going to be the way that you are going to transact. So coins, So I left that meeting, I think a little bit more, I won't say confused, but I had more questions than I got answers. And based on what she said, coins, and I just couldn't quite wrap my mind around what she meant by pennies and dimes. And doesn't matter, because to me, I'm looking at it in a metal sense, like bronze, gold, silver, copper. I'm like, but these, why would I get dimes? They're not even real silver. Like, what do you mean? All sizes and all sizes and all colored type coins. Didn't make much sense to me. Well, that has stayed with me. You fast forward to a few years back, maybe 5, 6 years back, maybe longer. I was somewhere and I was reading. I'm big into finances. I started self-teaching myself financial literacy. Okay, reading on books, researching online, getting financially literate on how our economies work. And one of the magazines that I normally read just to stay up with finances, I know a lot of you have heard of Forbes. There's a magazine also called The Economist. So the cover for The Economist for that magazine was from 1988. But when I saw that cover again, it was maybe 2016, 15 in that time frame. So when I came across it, it has an eagle, like a phoenix, standing on dollar bills that are on fire. And in the chest of the eagle, there's a gold-looking coin that resembles nowadays a Bitcoin with the number 10 and a date of 2018. Now keep in mind this magazine cover is from 1988, and the headline on it said, "Get ready for a world currency." So when I saw this, it was almost instantly, I would say a light bulb went off, but it wasn't. It was like the spirit said, "That's it." And I knew, like that, that's it. There wasn't I wonder if that's what it means. No, it was crystal clear that was it. That was what Mother Holloway, which was her name, was what she was telling me about coins, about purchasing as many coins as you can of any kind, didn't matter. And for the first time in all those years, it made perfect sense what she meant, because it wasn't physical gold, silver. Now, I'm not saying those things are not always going to be valuable. Obviously they are. Gold and silver have been with us since the dawn of man. Precious metals have always held a place for value, but that wasn't what she was speaking about, because it wouldn't make sense when she said that's what we were going to be using, and that's what we needed to purchase, or I needed to purchase, and didn't matter which one, just buy some. Obviously that doesn't make sense when you're talking about buying gold or buying silver. It would be very specific. What do you mean buy anything, different sizes? Like, what do you mean there's only gold and silver? There's no brown coins and blue coins. When she kept saying doesn't matter, just buy any of them, just buy some coins. That's what we're going to be using. It's hard to fathom walking around with a bag of gold or silver coins to transact, right? Well, in those days when she brought it up, that's the only thing that would come to me. Crypto didn't exist at that time. Coins didn't exist at those times. Tokens as we know it, the depiction of cryptocurrencies did not exist. So that I could not fathom that. The day that I saw that magazine and the day the spirit said, "Wake up, that's it," I knew that's what she was seeing. I knew that's what she was telling me. And the first thing I did was share that to my wife, and I said, "Look," and she was still a little bit like in awe, saying, "Man, it can be." I said, "No, there's no can, there's no maybe, it is." And then I pulled up a rendition of cryptos. We've all seen them. As you guys know, cryptos don't physically exist. Bitcoin does not physically exist. Ethereum, XRP, none of these tokens physically exist. The pictures you see of actual coins, like the actual tokens, they're just a rendition that represents them, but it's not a physical token. They don't exist. So when you see all these pictures with the Doge dog on them, the BTC on a coin, the Ripple's logo for XRP. That's just a rendition, right? They don't actually exist. And I told my wife, I believe that's what she was seeing. I believe that's what she saw. When she said it doesn't matter, just get any kind. Um, and I just knew. That's the day that I knew for sure that this was the way that I needed to focus, that it commanded my attention. So guys, I just wanted to give you a little bit of backstory of how I arrived to this point. So yes, cryptocurrencies are here to stay. They're going to be growing, and they're going to be a very integral part of our day-to-day lives very soon. For those who don't feel that way, there's not much that I can say but to pray and maybe let God lead you himself. I'm a big proponent that even though prophets are good, people who preach are good for you, like they're preaching God's word. But at the end of the day, your personal relationship with God is key to a lot of things. He can speak to you through many vessels, right? Through other people, through signs throughout your day. And he can speak to you vocally or in your visions or in your dreams. You can actually maybe be able to hear him. Whatever the case might be, all these different tools you should use whenever you have access to them, whether it's hearing from the Lord or hearing somebody who hears from the Lord speaking to you and it resonates with your spirit. That, for me, that's the biggest thing. It resonates with me. I'm in the same frequency of the Holy Spirit when I can pick up on something and say, yes, that is from God. You'll just know, and you can't do that unless you are in tune with Him. You have to practice being in tune with Him, or you won't be able to pick up those signals when He's sending them to you. Goes for your dreams, goes for your visions, goes from running across people, random strangers, random people, where you least expect it, and you strike up a conversation, and for some reason, you're just glowing, you're vibrating, you're like, man, this is just truth, and I can feel it. I know it is. So cryptos are here to stay. They're going to be a big part of all of us. All of us. I'm not here to sell you on cryptos. I'm not here to tell you the TA on certain cryptos and which ones you should buy and which ones you shouldn't, because I'm not a financial advisor. I'm here to say what has led me to it. And to me, it was spiritual. And why I feel like this is why I've been led to kind of spread the word to people on cryptos. Like, start doing your research. Start looking these things up. Start asking questions. Start going online. If you have time to watch a movie for 2 hours where you're at home to relax, and I get it, we all want to unwind, but if you have time, you have time to get on your laptop or on your phone or on your tablet and start looking some of these things up, because it's coming and you need to know and you need to be aware what's coming. So I say that to my kids when they tell me I don't have time to do something. I said, but then they tell me some episode of a TV show that they watch. I said, you had time. You just decided to use your time in a different manner, in a non-productive manner. So if you have time, all I can give you is my belief and advice that use it. Use it because God has given it to you to be able to prepare yourself. Prepare yourself for what is coming, because it's unlike anything that we have ever seen. Okay? The fourth industrial revolution, I believe they're calling it, is coming. And if you've read a little online, if you've researched a little, that term is going to become very familiar with you. Very familiar with you. So I hope this gives you a little bit of background on me, or my backstory on this. And this is just a little snippet of it. The reason I wanted to tell you that backstory is to lead into, you know, cryptocurrencies, of what I've seen and what I have shared with Sharon and her channel. So I hope everybody has a great rest of their weekend now, and see you next time.